Okay, so this is where we left off. We're going to be doing video number 7 with the Revelation 12 sign and what all those timelines might entail. And so this one, we're going to look at Daniel chapter 12. And I'm going to be circling in on verses 11 and 12. I guess I'll just read the whole chapter here. At that time, Michael, the archangel who stands guard over your nation, will arise. Then there will be a time of anguish greater than any since nations first came into existence. But at that time, every one of your people whose name is written in the book will be rescued. Many of those whose bodies lie dead and buried will rise up, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting disgrace. Those who are wise will shine as bright as the sky, and those who lead many to righteousness will shine like the stars forever. But you, Daniel, keep this prophecy a secret. Seal up the book until the time of the end, when many will rush here and there and knowledge will increase. Then I, Daniel, looked and saw two others standing on opposite banks of the river. One of them asked the man dressed in linen, who was now standing above the river, "How long will it be until these shocking events are over?" The man dressed in linen, who was standing above the river, raised both his hands towards heaven and took a solemn oath by the one who lives forever, saying, "It will go on for a time, times, and half a time. When the shattering of the holy people has finally come to an end, all these things will have happened." This is talking about Revelation 10. Yeah, chapter 10, I believe. This is where we see this exact same thing. And this is actually where we get Revelation 12. So I believe that this, what was being sealed up, this prophecy is secret. I believe this is actually Revelation 12 that Daniel saw here. Kind of interesting. So then I said, so I heard what he said, but I did not understand what he meant. So I asked, "How will all this finally end, my Lord?" But he said, "Go now, Daniel, for what I have said is kept secret and sealed until the time of the end. Many will be purified, cleansed, and refined by these trials. But the wicked will continue in their wickedness, and none of them will understand. Only those who are wise will know what it means. From the time the daily sacrifice is stopped and the sacrilegious object that causes desecration is set up, otherwise known as the abomination of desolation, is set up to be worshipped, there will be 12,090 days. And blessed are those who wait and remain until the end of the 13 and 35 days. As for you, go your way until the end. You will rest, and then at the end of the days you will rise again to receive the inheritance set aside for you." That's a lot. All right, so we got a couple interesting things here. 11 and 12. From the time that the daily sacrifices stopped and the sacrilegious object that causes desecration is set up to be worshipped, there will be 1,290 days. Kind of interesting wording there. And to make this work, what we're going to do is we're going to translate the "and" here to a "to." So here's the "and" we check it out. The Hebrew, it can be a conjunction, which is an "and," furthermore, but it can also be a preposition, which is "and," according to, with regard to, from. So it can be an "and," or it can also be leading from one thing to another. When you look at the Hebrew here in a what is this, a parallel Bible? Yeah, when you have Strong's, the Hebrew, the English. So if we go to the Strong's here, give, put, set. Yeah, so there's a lot of uses for this word. it's kind of hard to track it down into exactly just one thing. And so for this, we're going to take the liberty and kind of change it a little bit. Yeah, here's more of it from what the translators put, which is an and we're going to make it a 2. From the time that the regular sacrifice is abolished to the abomination of desolation is set up, there will be 1290 days. How blessed is he who keeps waiting and attains to the 1335 days. All right, so with that in mind, we need some dating here. So Daniel, the 3rd year of King Jehoiam's reign in Judah, King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon came to Jerusalem and besieged it. We have a timeline here, and so let's see here. Jerusalem becomes part of the Empire of Egypt, and then 605 BC, Jerusalem switches to the Babylonians after they're defeated. And so this, roughly 3 years into the reign is when this battle takes place. So this is the date of that. So we have the dating of the start of the book of Daniel at 605 BC. And then right here we have the Nebuchadnezzar crushed the rebellion in the kingdom of Judah. You could say at this point that there's a potential that the daily sacrifice was stopped sometime in this date range, 599, 597. Sometime during this time period, pretty good chance that the regular sacrifice was stopped. 599 BC to 692. Yeah, so that gives us 1290. So 692 AD. At that point in time, we're going to be looking for the abomination of desolation is set up. So let's go down to 692, 691. Dome of the Rock is built. This one puts it being finished in 692, Dome of the Rock. Okay, so that seems to fit. And then if we take 692 and add 13 and 35 days, we end up with 2027. Yeah, we got some interesting dates here. What we could say from this is from the time that the daily sacrifices stopped to the sacrilege, to the abomination of desolation is set up to be worshipped, there will be 1290 years, and blessed are those who wait and remain until the end of the 1335 days, which I believe is going to be talking about here, rise again to receive the inheritance set aside for you. That's going to be many of those whose bodies lie dead and buried will rise up, some to everlasting life. And so I believe this is going to be the resurrection of the dead, which of course happens on Jesus's second coming. So interesting theory that I've ran across. So with that, up next I'll be doing a video on the budding of the fig tree, probably the most famous one in regards to date setting. So wish me luck.